Welcome. It's Bruce Hill from New Skills in the U. I've got my buddy Daniel from Hivemind with me. And this segment is specifically to help you and introduce you to an amazing speaker. But what's fun about Daniel is that he's not a traditional speaker. Like, you're not going to get a business card from him that says professional speaker. But he's created his own stages. He's helped a lot of people win. So I'm really excited to introduce him to y'all. Daniel, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just tell people to Google me. That's the trick.
Ooh, okay, that's a flex. Let's do that right now. If I Google, what do I type it in?
You
Daniel,
could
first
do
name, last name,
you could do
Hivemind.
you could do Daniel Hivemind, hence my name right here, Daniel Hivemind, or you can do Daniel Martinez, Daniel Esteban Martinez. I come up.
I didn't even have to do all that. Pops right up. 100K months using Hivemind. First hit. That's pretty attractive. And then like the first, oh, you've had every link on the first page. You know that?
That's why I say Google me.
I want to be like you when I grow up. All right, so
It's
someone who's
it's not
never heard
hard.
of you,
It's not
it's
hard.
not hard. Okay, tell me
No.
what's the secret.
The secret is doing stuff like this. This is why I do stuff like this.
So you can be top of mind.
Well, no, it's think of the internet as uncharted waters. So how do
Okay.
you become uncharted waters? Is you create as much replications of yourself on uncharted waters. That way, people have looked towards your direction, they're going to find you.
That's a gem. We're not even 3 minutes in.
I don't know. That's the trick.
So let's say someone's listening right now, but they're driving, so they can't Google you. What would you want them to know?
I do land. I speak. I do a lot of stuff with real estate. I have a CRM product. I speak. I have students. I educate. I don't know, and I provide a lot of content out there. So if you go to any platform and Google Daniel Hivemind in that search bar, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, or any other place like that, you're going to find me as well. So no matter where people consume content, I'm there. And I may not have the biggest following, but I'm there. Time will catch up to me eventually.
No matter where you are, I'm there. He's ubiquitous. He's everywhere. Oh, one fun fact. So I met Daniel in a mastermind. We still tap in. And he was talking about hive mind. He was talking about automating before delegating. That's one of my favorite lessons from you. Why is it important to automate before you delegate?
So technology, I think right now is the best time to become an entrepreneur. There's a lot of resources out there, including like especially AI is the big hot topic right now. But if you can outsource and automate through systems and software, you might not have to hire that position. So think of 20 years ago. I'm young. You're a little bit older than me, but you're still young. In all. But like, if you're born in the '90s or before 2000, you've seen the transition of technology. So think of everybody had to have an appointment setter, set appointments, book appointments, and now we have Calendly, stuff like that to coordinate and operate your schedule for you. So as technology gets better, you can put in resources to help organize and operate where there was a person physically there doing it. Now you can have systems.
That's huge for that younger entrepreneur. Maybe you're. I have a buddy who wants to avoid investors at least as long as possible. And if you're like, well, I don't have the money right now to hire someone. I've never hired someone before. Technology can help you do that. And of course, I'm a little biased, but I do recommend HiveMind CRM for the enterprising entrepreneur. So I met you talking about HiveMind, talking about the CRM and using it to scale your business. When did the transition happen going into real estate?
It was always there. HiveMind came after. So I
Really?
started, yeah, I started doing real estate 5 years ago. I'm coming up on my sixth year. HiveMind's only 3 years old. So I started doing real estate first, and then HiveMind came about. So we had the idea of creating. There's different ways to. And there's a couple different reasons, but there's different ways to become popular in your own little niche, especially in the real estate space. And a lot of it are clogged through different avenues. So I wanted to create a different avenue. So I call it like there's 5 or 6 different ways to come up to become known from being unknown to known. So what are those? It could be coaching, and a lot of people go up this way. They try and go up the coaching route, but no one knows who they are and how you distinguish yourself between other coaches. There's books. People become authors. They write their own book. They come up with the author route. There's speaking. People come up to the speaker route, and there's a lot of people trying to speak. Everybody wants to speak at everybody's events, and how do you differentiate yourself? So that's really, really hard. Number 4 is podcasting. That's what we're doing now. We're podcasting. Number 5 is through products or services in that niche. So that podcasting, I think, is there's a lot less traffic there, and I think niche specific products in that niche are lot less traffic there. So we knew what direction and what end goal we wanted. So we came up through, first was products or services. Then we came out with the podcast. With that, we had products, services, and podcasting. And then we started doing education. And now we're kind of hitting all 5 of those things all at the same time. So it's only a matter of time before you take off. So we're working on a book right now. And it's just one of those things that kind of culminate into who you are and what you do, and you get there through, and you only need one of those to be successful, but if you do all 5 eventually, it all helps your brand and push through the online space.
That's good. So HiveMind was the product. So it was real estate first. Interesting. HiveMind was the product. That's number 1 of the 5 ways for you. And when did speaking come in part of the strategy?
It was right when I did podcasting. So a lot of people that they always try to like speak on different stages, and what value do you bring, and who do you bring? So most of the time when people ask you to speak, they usually want you to have your own audience at that point. So then you have the chicken and egg problem. Well, you want to build an audience, but people won't have you speak because you don't have an audience. So the thing is you create your own audience. So how do you create your own audience? So you do it through podcasting, which I kind of started at the same time. And number 2 is building your own stage. Who says you can't build your own stage and speak from your own stage? No one. You make the rules. So you make your own stage. You start speaking from your own stage. You make your own podcast. Start speaking from your own podcast. And then people were like, oh, okay, he has his own audience. He's built his own stage. He has his own podcast. Let's bring him on now. So I've gotten more speaking engagements over the last 6 months than I have over the last 3 years. So it kind of snowballs. It kind of snowballs into that larger thing, and it's a long-term game. There's no shortcuts.
What happened where you got more speaking engagements in the last 6 months than you have in the last few years? What did you do different? So the target for this conversation is that aspiring speaker, is that speaker looking to go to the next level, maybe want to go full-time, consider themselves a professional speaker. What are you telling them?
I think you figure out what your value is. A lot of people struggle with this, and you got to figure out what your value is and bring it to that level. So recently it was a culmination of time. And I think time's the biggest thing. Do something long enough and you'll be known for it. It's just time. So I've been doing this for 3 years, the Hivemind education, kind of putting out information space for a very long time. And then we had a big win, and now the big win plus time equals more engagements. So it's like everything kind of escalates as time progresses. And some people hit it sooner than others. I've seen people go do amazing stuff in 6 months or a year, and everybody has their own scale of time, but you have to be producing and looking at the long-term outcome to get to that point, and you don't know when it's going to hit.
That's beautiful. This is a whole masterclass. What about your HiveMind conference? Excuse me if that's not the right name. When did you start that? You talk about building your own stage.
So I started doing that the first year I started my business. We started getting people coming in and simply, why are you even doing that your first year? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I want an opportunity to provide and my people to come together and my students to come together. So in what way do you do that? You do that at other people's events. Hey, everybody go to ABC's event and let's have dinner there and shake hands. I'm going to be speaking there. Or you just create your own, and you don't have to overcomplicate it. You can you can network with people in the area and find a venue. I just went to an event in Houston. A contact in their network has like a rooftop, like a second floor bar type thing. So they get the bar revenue. So they charge them $1,500. They had 100 people there. We came in and spoke for free, and they had a sponsor pay for the $1,500. So you can do that for free locally.
We'll snap it up for that one. You make it sound so easy, man.
It's not. It's not. A lot of it is figuring, like, us as entrepreneurs, we have to figure it out. So if you want something, you got to figure it out. You got to figure out where the money comes from, If the venue wants $5,000, you go find 5 sponsors to give you 1,000. Like, you figure it out. And then where do you get speakers? You ask around who wants to speak. Most of the time, speakers will speak for free because there's a lot of speakers out there willing to speak. They just don't have a stage. So if you put the feelers out, hey, I'll let you come speak for free. Boom, as long as they know they have value, the host knows they have value to bring to their audience, they'll come speak for free. Even if nobody even shows up, they'll come speak for the camera to get more content. That's something else I learned. One of my stages, I had like 30 people show up just because we did it out of state and we had no local push there. So people still came just because we had a video camera and we were cut up in the reels into HD. People will show up. That's just the
So you're
bottom line.
maximizing every opportunity.
Absolutely, because um, it's not. It's less about I mean, you do want people to show up, and people have done like free stages, and they charge them for an upsell. Like I never wanted to do, like I never sell at my events, and some people do. There's different like stages of this. So some people they charge up front and no selling, which is kind of the angle I went. I charged up front to kind of cover my cost, and then I wouldn't sell. Some people charge and they sell. They do both. They try and upsell you when you get to the event. I'm sure you've been to events like that. And then there's some events that they'll do it free and then they'll sell. So you can do like any different version of those to monetize it. Sometimes they bring sponsors, sometimes they don't. It depends on your venue and your at cost whenever you're running an event and your speaker costs. Because if you bring in high level speakers, you see events that have like, oh, they got Damon John and Robert Kiyosaki and all these different headline speakers. You're going to pay to get in because they had to pay money to get those speakers in. Most times, I know Kiyosaki charges like $200,000 for 4 hours. You have to pay for his flight, hotel, and security. So it's like $200,000 to get him to speak at your event for 4 hours. He'll do a 1 hour keynote, and then he's there for 3 hours Q&A and pictures and whatever. So whenever you see a headline speaker at an event, somebody had to pay for that. So it usually comes out of your ticket cost.
So our goal for this podcast is to help more speakers get to that level.
Mhm.
When they're not
And
charging $200, we're charging 200.
and you can run an event like that, and you co-headline with them and brand by association,
Ooh, borrow their credibility.
borrow the credibility. So it's getting on more stages. It's a lot of it is if you can get headline speakers and find a way to monetize it and pay them. And this comes down to like if you can borrow their credibility and get on stages and like, oh, I just saw Bruce Hill with Robert Kiyosaki in Houston. Okay, let's see what he does. Let's look him up online. They're gonna Google you. They're gonna check your credibility, and then they're gonna see, oh, let's see what his video looks like online. Let's see what about value he brings, and then like, okay, boom, let's ask him, see if he'll come on. So a lot of times that host will ask them to come on for free, and then certain speakers, once you get to a certain point, you can start charging. I think this is where Roy's at. I think he charges 5-10 grand to speak, and you got to pay for his flight. So once you get to a certain point, you can start charging people to come on because you have such high credibility and you have such high value.
I love it. Thank you for sharing all that. Let me make sure we get the technical questions in. Who's your ideal audience? Who are you looking to get in front of?
Me, mostly. I mean, a lot of my audiences are minorities in some way, shape, or form. They're interested in real estate. They may be doing houses or other asset classes, multifamily storage. A lot of my people, they're interested in changing it up. Like they're looking for a change. So we introduce them into the land space and how to find and monetize larger opportunities. Because I think I mentioned this is like if you want to make more money in business and life, you got to find a higher priced product to sell.
I said the same thing yesterday, literally yesterday. Not metaphorically, not figuratively, literally yesterday. So if they say, hey, we want to get into real estate, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go to. I always make the joke of follow the right rabbit, but you can go through any one of my online platforms and just click the link away. This is one of the things where like me as a consumer, I have my consumer brain and I have my producer brain. So when I'm producing, I always create a path that the consumer needs to follow to find the end goal. So you as a consumer want to learn how to become a producer, go through people's funnels to figure out how they can be producers. and you can literally copy and use their methods, including up to their email and follow-up strategies, and implement it for yourself. So like I always go down people's funnels to kind of see where it leads me, because if it's working for them, it's going to work for you.
And for someone who's looking to bring you on to speak at their conference, let's say maybe real estate focused conference or business development, how do they get in touch with you?
You can email me at admin, ADMIN, at HiveMindCRM.io, or you can just go down through one of the rabbit holes, find a way to contact me. There's always a contact us number there, and it'll eventually come up the ladder to me in some way, shape, or form. And that's one of the things where like I have one central phone number that you can text, and somebody will respond, and it's like my personal secretary that I have VAs kind of monitor that, and it eventually makes its way up.
Beautiful, beautiful. Man, this was good. I really appreciate you coming on and share. And any last parting words before we sign off?
Yeah, this is going to be my quote. You build your infamy off the content you create.
Okay, one more time. You build your infamy.
You build your own infamy off the content you create.
That's a good way to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, one new skill will change your life. Thanks, Daniel, for coming on.
Hey, if you have any deals you'd like to submit to the Hivemind and our team, go to hivebc.io. It's actually the Hive Buyers Club. Submit your deals and we can hopefully dispel your deal for you. Have a great day.